Stayed the night at my friend's house last night. It's February 28th. Because I knew I needed to get away from Brian. I needed space. Because all day, I took the day off for mental health day. And all day I was thinking about how I was going to get back at him for being an inconsiderate prick. And I was like, I need to get myself out of the situation because escalating is not the answer. So I stayed at my friend's house last night. And I really appreciate talking things through with her because she really does not play devil's advocate, but she asks questions, and I appreciate that because that's what I try to do for my people. But I've been thinking about something that she said. I told her that today I was going to confront Brian about lying to me about something. And from there, he can decide when to talk about it. And she said that that was a lot of pressure. And I'm like, me telling somebody that I need to have a conversation with them. And this is what it's about. Take as much time as you need to process it and think about how you would like to respond. And we can have a conversation when you're ready. If I can't say that to my partner, then our relationships are false. If I need to have a conversation, why is the person who I'm living with, who I've chosen to spend my life with, why is anybody, honestly, anybody who I want to have a close relationship with, me saying that we need to have this difficult conversation, prepare for it as you will, and we can talk about it when you're ready within a reasonable time frame. But I'm not going to tell him by when. If he doesn't want to have the conversation tonight, then I'm going to watch the soccer game and watch TV and play The Sims, dissociate. And probably stew a little because he doesn't want to have a conversation, but I've been doing a lot of processing this morning. But it's so frustrating because you don't want to ambush people and tell them that you need to have a conversation, but at the same time, how else am I supposed to express my needs? I need to talk about this. We are going to talk about this. And if we don't, if you refuse to talk about it with me, well, that tells me a lot of information. Because I don't want to be in a relationship with someone where we sit here and we play fucking pretend. And that doesn't mean we have to talk about everything the second it happens. But it needs to be talked about. It's called emotional maturity. Taking the time that you need to process something before having a conversation about it is not pressure. It can't make sure that a conversation isn't going to get escalated, but it can start it off on the right path. It can start it off not escalated. Especially when it's going to be a difficult conversation. And probably more than one conversation, realistically. But I also told her that while I don't think giving somebody time to prepare for a difficult conversation is putting pressure on them, I can understand where she's coming from, but it's just healthy communicating. It feels like a lot of pressure because it's a hard conversation. The pressure isn't coming with the right answer. If there's any pressure, it's the pressure of actually sitting down and thinking about it and processing it, because that fucking sucks. It's hard. But also, it shouldn't be my responsibility to follow up on that. I'm telling you what I need. You know how to fulfill that need. It's by having the conversation. And I'm leaving the ball in your court. I need to have this conversation. Let me know when you're ready to have it. It's not my job to follow up on it. If he doesn't initiate the conversation, if he doesn't have it, I have a general timeline in my head, but I have a feeling we're going to have a conversation tonight, and if not tonight, tomorrow. But if he doesn't have it, I mean, fuck, that tells me a lot. But it's not my responsibility to follow up on that. And I understand where the pressure, it could feel like pressure, but I think if you actually sit down and think about what I'm asking, that it's really quite realistic to be in a healthy relationship with anybody. And I don't fault her on that. I'm not saying that what her reaction was wrong. Her reaction is what she's learned for it to be. She was trained. Her trauma is a trauma inspired response. But a lot of interactions start like that. They start as an attack, or they feel like one. Our brain has been trained to respond in that way. I told her that there's something that Brian does that my brain responds to before I do. And I get immediately defensive, and I'm aware of it, but I literally have no choice in the matter. All I can do is try to recognize it after it happens. Which, when you're triggered, especially depending if your trigger's stacked already. Oh, there's Evie. Hey, little sassy pants. I sounded very aware of myself last night. I felt good about that. I did want to bitch a little bit. I'm proud of the way that I speak when I'm worked up, because my words are better. Anyways, I'm still doing a lot of contemplating, so I'm just gonna end it now because I'm not ready to talk about it.